Hello, 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 my friends and fellow bookworms. It has been such a crazy couple weeks. Honestly, this entire year has been crazy so far. I feel like I've just been very go, go, go and no stop, stop, stop. Lots of amazing things, but also some hard things as well. Some little losses, some big wins. We've just been a little all over the place. So in between the chaos and life things that have been happening as of late, I just really needed a week to rest, reset. I've been traveling a ton lately, which has been so fun and great, but also I am a person who functions best off of routines, and getting thrown off my routines has been a big struggle for me lately. As much as it is worth it. We are a neurospicy over here, so we very much rely on our routines to function properly. I also recently got part of my health diagnosis. I did start a new treatment plan, and I'm also going out of town next week. So my body's just kind of needing a little bit of a rest moment. So in this week's video, we're going to be reading a ton of cozy books, doing a lot of cozy, fun hobbies. I would love to get my book journal updated. I would love to crochet a little bit, make some jewelry, go on little walks, and just have a good time together. Before we do go into the bulk of today's video, I do want to give a little life update. Like I just said, I recently got most of my health diagnosis. There are some things that we are still kind of exploring and trying to figure out, but for the most part, we finally know kind of what's going on. So we found out that I do have an autoimmune thyroid. So I basically have Hashimoto's, which is basically where your body is like attacking your thyroid. And then I also have hypothyroidism, so my thyroid is underactive. I've also got some inflammation stuff we're also trying to figure out that has something to do with some genetic DNA thing. So still waiting for some tests to come back. But like I said, I did start a new treatment plan about 2 weeks ago, and I'm doing pretty well so far. I'm responding to it a lot better than I thought I was going to, which is a big win. So to celebrate finally getting a diagnosis and getting on a new treatment plan and just overall taking care of my body and celebrating the fact that we are finally getting somewhere after 2 to 3 years of just really struggling to have anybody take me seriously and just struggling a lot in general with my health. It's been a very exhausting mentally and physically last couple of years. So I just feel really thankful and blessed that we are finally getting somewhere, and we caught everything in time to where it hasn't done like any significant damage yet. I am also doing some reworking when it comes to my YouTube stuff, so also doing a little bit of content shifting. I also made the decision that I'm going to be taking a step back from Instagram and just socials in general, except for YouTube. I am just not doing the best mentally when it comes to social media. I'm not having a good time. And especially right now when my health has become a full-time job alongside my full-time job, I just need to take it slow right now, mentally, physically, allow myself to just be and exist and focus on my priorities at the moment. With all that said, my therapist tells me that I need to celebrate my little and big wins more often. So to celebrate getting my diagnosis, as well as just taking a moment to allow myself to slow down and give my body what it needs, I did get myself a little celebratory present. I don't know why he's all smushed like this though, but I'm very excited to show you guys what this is. It's a celebratory silly goose. I'm so excited. This is a weighted stuffed goose, so I believe he's about 2 to 3 pounds. I just wanted something cuddly and especially something weighted because A, I have a lot of anxiety. B, again, neurospicy, so I do get very overstimulated very easily, and it's very hard for me to regulate my emotions. So I just feel like weighted things help me kind of regulate myself back out. What should we name him? If you have name ideas, leave them in the comments down below because I don't know what to call him. So me, my cup of tea, and my silly goose are going to choose some reads to read in this video and just get to doing all the cozy things. Okay, I have picked my TBR for this video, and I think the first one that we're going to read is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This humorous cozy sci-fi is a classic that I don't know how I've never read, but this follows the last surviving man on Earth as he joins a very unconventional group as they venture out into space post-Earth demolishing. I've heard nothing but good things, and I am in the mood for something kind of like fun, quirky, and silly. Plus, I think this is only about 175 pages, so it's actually a very short read, minimal brain power, which is exactly what I need right now. I have 5 books on my TBR. I don't think I'll get to all of these, but I do want to get at least to 3 of them, which I feel is very doable. Good morning, sunshine. This morning we are being responsible, disciplined, and healthy adults, and we are going on a walk. I was going to go to the gym, but something about the gym just really icks me out. It's overstimulating, it smells weird, the lights are too bright, I just don't have a good time. But I told myself if I went on a walk today that I could go to the thrift store afterwards. So we are getting our morning movement in. Yesterday was a little rough, we were down with a tummy ache, but this morning we're alive, we're feeling better, we're feeling funky fresh, and we're ready to get moving. I am going to finish listening to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on my walk. So far I'm like 30% of the way in, and I just don't know if like shorter stories are for me. me. I feel like I'm just a little bit lost because it's kind of all just like surface level stuff. And although it's fun and it's quirky and I'm like still having a good time, I'm just lost. And I feel like I can't really like connect to the story. So I don't know, I'm gonna finish it and see what I think. But for now, it's not clicking with me. I'm gonna go down and have a little breakfast snack really quick before we go. The weather is a little bit chilly. It's about like 45 degrees right now. We had a really hot week and then it just plummeted back into winter basically. So the high for the next couple days is like 60 degrees. So we got all cozy in our hoodies and our jackets. And I also walk by the river, so it's extra cold because of that. But it's gonna be a good time. Hello friends and fellow bookworms. I am now back home and I have been baking for the last hour-ish. I boiled a bunch of sweet potato last night because I really want to make like sweet potato muffins or a sweet potato cake. It's just something like with sweet potato, and I ended up making like a sweet potato brownie little mini cake thing and then a sweet potato like cinnamony also mini cake thing. I wanted to make little muffins but I didn't have the muffin liners, so I just put them in like mini cake tins and we'll see if it works out. I didn't follow a recipe. I just kind of threw ingredients together until it formed like a cake consistency, so I really don't know how these are gonna turn out. Experimental baking with faith. It's a fun endeavor. I also finished The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I will say, I don't know what just happened. This book was so funny, quirky, silly, but it was almost too funny, quirky, silly to where like it literally didn't make any sense. I comprehended maybe like 30% of this book. The rest of it just felt very random, and like the way it was written didn't feel very cohesive. It didn't flow very well in my brain. I was very lost a lot of the time, so I don't know if that's just like the way my brain works. It just didn't work out with this story specifically. The characters were fun, the world was fun. I loved like the funny, quirky vibes. It just didn't make any sense. And I just found that I was like having so many questions. So I don't know, that was kind of a weird read for me, but I'm glad I knocked it off my TBR because that was one of the first books that I ever bought, like when I started reading again as an adult. So I've had it on my shelf for a very long time. I'm glad that it's not on my shelf anymore. I'm gonna wait for my sweet potato little mini cake things to be done, and then we're gonna go upstairs and pick our next read. So here's my cakes. They don't look very promising, but we're gonna try them. I feel like the consistencies are just pretty weird. Oh, and I think it's stuck to the pan. Lovely. Okay, well, we got a little chunk. I don't know, it looks pretty gooey on the inside, which I feel like is a good sign. Not great, but I've had worse. The chocolate chips definitely help. It seems very gooey, but like not in a good way. The texture is very weird, but I do like the flavor of those. Well, that was fun. I also forgot to mention that while I was out earlier at the thrift store, I ended up getting this super cute dress. Like, tell me this isn't the most adorable dress you've ever seen. It's got like this really pretty kind of lacy stuff in the front. I believe the original brand is Volcom, but my like spring summer dress that I usually wear like all the time, it shrunk in the dryer. I don't know why or how, I've had it forever, but it's finally just shrunken enough to where it's a little bit too short for me. So I ended up getting a new one. And then when I was at the library, I ended up picking up Voyage of the Damned. Please let me know if you've read this one because I have been hearing some mixed reviews about it and I've had it on my TBR for a while. So now I don't know if I really want to pick it up or not. Maybe I'll like try to read a couple pages of it, not in this video, but coming up soon, and see if it kind of fits the vibe I'm going for, I guess. I don't know, but if you've read this, let me know your thoughts, please. It is now time to pick our next read though for this video. I am feeling kind of reading slumpy, which is not a good sign. I fear I'm in the beginning stages of a reading slump and I need to get myself out of it before I get fully slumped. Usually what pulls me out of a slump though is some kind of like mystery thriller or some kind of like either cozy fantasy or normal fantasy of sorts. But I also don't need anything right now that's like heavy brain power. So I'm kind of in between a few different choices. We've got Greenwild, which is a middle grade book, which I usually don't like to read middle grade books, but this one just looks so cute. And this one follows our main character and her mother goes missing, but her mother's been keeping a lot of big secrets. She ends up going through a door of sorts into like a whole new crazy world. And that just sounds like a really good time to me right now. But again, I usually don't read middle grade, but I feel like middle grade is very low brain power, so it might be what I need. I don't know. But the next one that I have that I'm thinking about reading is This Book Kills, and this is a young adult mystery thriller about a girl who writes a short story. It's like a murder short story, and someone in her class ends up dying exactly the way that like she wrote, and then someone texts her thanking her for the inspiration. So this sounds like a crazy story. I've read really good things about it, so this is definitely on like the top of my list. But then we also have Bringing Down the Duke, and this one is a kind of human humorous Victorian era rom-com. And if you know me, you know I love anything in the like 1800s time era, and I especially think that the banter in that era is just so much more fun to read. So I might just read the first like couple pages of each book and see what's poking out to me more. Also, while I ponder on my reads, I am going to go start painting because I do have a specific part of my wall that I would really like to decorate with paintings and art and stuff, and I just thought it'd be fun to kind of create my own art for my room. I have a few things that I want to paint. I want to do something like snaily and mushroomy, so I've got that idea, and then I also want to do something bookish. I'm thinking something with like either a bookworm on it or something that just like says bookworm. So I'm gonna scroll a little bit on Pinterest. We're gonna start painting. I'm gonna read a few pages of each book, and it's just gonna be a fun, chill, cozy night. Friends and bookworms. It is about 7 o'clock and we are going to go read at a coffee shop this morning with a friend, which I'm very excited about because I needed to get out of the house more to read. If you didn't see by my last video where I literally booked an Airbnb for 48 hours just so I could read, I feel like I read better and faster when I am not in my house, which sounds weird, but I feel like my house just has so many distractions, and when I'm out of the house, I can just zone in on my book. Come on, let's go. I'm gonna verbally process all my problems for the next 15 to 20 seconds, and then we're gonna be good and happy and fresh. First things first, I was at the coffee shop reading with my friend Eve, and I literally forgot that I had a therapy appointment, so I had to run to my car and do a FaceTime therapy appointment, which was great. And I got an acai bowl, which was also yummy. But when I sat down to eat my acai bowl, I saw a snake right behind me that my cat was trying to attack. But the snake looked like it was going to attack my cat. My cat doesn't have front claws because she's declawed, not from me. We adopted her that way. So then I had to yell at my cat, and then my cat got scared, and then I got sad. So that was not a good time. And then I had to be on the phone with my insurance company for about an hour because I keep getting bills for my blood work that should be covered by my insurance, so they keep billing the wrong address. That's an entire other problem. And then on top of that, I've had a headache all day, which is a side effect from my medicine that I took for my tummy ache the other day. So I'm just spiraling. So I think I just need to rot in bed for 10 to 45 minutes, and then I should be okay, because I can't move without my head pounding. Welcome to a day in the life of a neurospicy and autoimmune girly. Anyway, on a better note, I did start reading This Book Kills, and I am only about 40 pages through, but I'm really liking it so far. I feel like YA mystery thrillers are just always what I need to get out of a slump. I also really like the way that she writes. Her humor is really fun. It's like dark humor, which I feel like I also have dark humor to cope with life. So it's kind of fun. I'm going to lay here and read and rot for the next couple hours. I would like to get at least halfway through this book today, which I feel like is doable because I really don't have anything else planned for the day, and especially with my headache, I don't think I will be going anywhere for the remainder of the night. I got so sleepy reading that I rested my eyes for what felt like 5 minutes, and then I woke up 45 minutes later, so very discombobulated. I'm now about 100 pages into This Book Kills, and this book has everything that I love in a YA mystery thriller. We've got a secret society, we've got amateur sleuths, everyone's a suspect, academic vibes. I am having a great time. I'm hoping that it continues to be as good as I think it's gonna be, because so far it's giving at least like 4-star potential. I do love the writing, there's lots of intrigue, everyone is acting suspicious. We'll see. Okay guys, we are on the home stretch. We've got 75 pages left. My interest is peaked. I'm quaking in my boots. I have no idea who it is. I have no idea what's gonna happen. People have been unalived. The secret society is secret societying. I feel like there's so many moving pieces that I'm so excited to see how they all come together. There has been some unlikely alliances, which you know I love to see. I'm still having a great time. I really like this author, and I think I'm gonna try to pick up some more of her books soon. But for now, I'm gonna binge these last 75 pages and then update you guys with my final thoughts. And we're done. Oh, I just bent the cover so bad. So I just finished This Book Kills, as you just saw. Hello, my squish. And I have so many thoughts and feelings. First of all, I think I'm gonna give this like a 3.75 or a 4-star. I loved the vibes of this book. The setting kind of reminded me, I don't know why, but it kind of reminded me of Hogwarts. Like, it's a private school, but they also live there. And it's like an old castle or something, so it gave the Hogwarts vibes. Like I said earlier, there's also kind of like a secret society aspect of it. Also an academia kind of aspect because they are at the school. It just had a lot of the things and the vibes that I usually like in books. So that was really fun. The mystery and the plot itself, I feel like kind of lacked, especially the ending, I feel like was a little bit anticlimactic. It was a little bit predictable. I feel like a lot of the main parts that kind of made up the story ended up being, I don't know, just like very conveniently fleshed out, I guess I would say. So I don't know, I thought that the mystery itself was not the best fleshed out thing, but I still had a good time with it. I also don't think it needs to be 350 pages. I feel like this definitely could have been edited down to 300 pages. But what really made this book different and what really stood out to me was a few different things. First of all, our main character is a person of color and does not come from money like the rest of her peers do. She is in the school on scholarship, and I feel like this book just shined a light on how hard it can be for a minority in a situation like this. I don't know if I'm really wording that correctly. Because of her skin color and because of what she does or does not come from, she definitely is treated differently, and I just loved seeing things from her perspective, and it made me so mad and irritated for her and people like her. I also feel like this had a really good, I want to say like found family, but it's not really found family. It's just like she didn't really have very many friends. Like she really only had one friend, and then by the end of the book she has like this group that is kind of like rallying around her that she loves and that loves her back. So she kind of like found a group. So maybe that is found family, but I don't know. That was just really fun and cute to see. This book kind of gave a little bit of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It also gave a little bit of like Pretty Little Liars. This book was really interesting, and I feel like it was very bingeable. Like there was never a point where I was bored, but yeah, just by the ending I was just a little bit underwhelmed, I guess I would say. And I kind of predicted what happened from very early on, but I still had a really good time with it. But anyway, now that that one is done, we do need to go grab our next read, which I am very excited about because I recently got this book on a trip that I went on, and it just sounds like the most cozy, fun, and cute read, and that is A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. First of all, just look at the cover and tell me that does not scream cozy. I believe this one is basically kind of about like a baking competition, but our main character is magicless in a world where there's a lot of magic and magical creatures, I guess I would say. Like there's orcs, there's elves. Our main character is kind of on this mission to prove herself and prove that she can do this without magic and like win this baking competition, I think. One of the sentences on the back says, while on a journey of mouthwatering pastries, self-discovery, heartwarming friendships, and potential romance, Arletta will have to decide whether winning the baking battle is a true prize after all. But win or lose, her adventure is only beginning. This literally just sounds so fun, so cute, so wholesome, and exactly what I need right now. I am not going to start it right now though because I have been reading this book quite literally all day long, so I need to give my brain a little break. But because this is like a fun baking book, I thought it would be really fun to like look up a recipe and bake something myself. So I'm gonna look up some recipes and see what kind of fun cozy thing we can make. I just did a little bit of baking. I actually somewhat followed a recipe this time. Very proud of myself. But I made a little gluten-free banana blueberry bread loaf thing. It's really not that bad. I mean, it's not the best, especially after reading about a bunch of really yummy pastries in this. Like, this is not the best. But because of my extremely strict autoimmune diet right now, I had to use coconut flour, cassava flour, and just like a few other like very, very minimal ingredients. So it works for now. But you guys, I am about halfway through A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic, and I am having the best time. Like, definitely 5-star potential. It's giving all the 5-star vibes. I don't see how this book could not be a 5-star. Like, it would really have to do something really dumb or annoying to have me rate it less than 5 stars. I'm in love with these characters. I am in love with this world. It's the coziest, most wholesome and fun read. It's definitely giving like the Spell Shop vibes, which if you know me, you know I love the Spell Shop. I literally got this jam tattoo because of that book. This is giving like Great British Baking Show, but if all the contestants for magical creatures. The friendships in this are so fun. There isn't really any romance quite yet, but you know these two characters are like interested in each other and like having little feelings for each other. So I'm very excited to see how that turns out. For this book being super low stakes, it's not boring at all. Like the stakes are low, but they also kind of feel high because she's trying to prove herself as like a really amazing baker in a world where people look down on humans because they are non-magical. So like the stakes are low, but the stakes are also high, you know? I also really love that in this edition, there's this beautiful art page of our two main characters. And I just love that so much because then I can like imagine them as I'm reading. I'm in love with this book. I'm in love with this book. I'm going to eat my little gluten-free banana bread baking experiment and finish this book. I'm gonna be so sad, but there is a second book out already, so I definitely am going to run to the bookstore to get the second book. Even though I know I'm technically supposed to be on a book buying ban, I don't know if I can help myself because I love it so much. Fingers crossed that it remains a 5-star read. I just finished this book and I loved it so much. Literally a new top favorite read. This is up there with The Spell Shop. This book was so ridiculously cozy. It was so much fun. The tiny romance part did irritate me a tiny bit by the end. It is the slowest slow burn of my entire life. And the romance is kind of a subplot. It's not really like the main plot, but it is kind of like a bigger part of the story as well. The found family in this book literally made me want to sob. Our main character has dealt with loss. She's dealt with kind of a lot in her life to where she's very closed off and kind of afraid to open up and like let people in, which is very similar to The Spell Shop. So throughout this book, we're watching her slowly open up her heart, connect with others, learn to love and be loved. It's just the most tender, wholesome thing. And then add in a really fun magical baking competition. Sold. Literally sold. This is the definition of cozy fantasy. This book feels like a warm hug and I adore it with my entire being. And now I am really craving pastries. Oh my gosh, and I forgot to mention that there is actually recipes in the back of this book, especially recipes that they talked about in the book, which I think is so fun. If my diet didn't include being free of literally every ingredient in the entire planet, I would have made these. Maybe I can figure out a way to like make it so that I can fit my diet somehow. That's like the hardest thing about my diet and my health issues right now is that I've had to go like gluten and dairy free, which I know they do have gluten and dairy free pastries and baked goods and stuff, but I just love that type of food so much, and to not be able to have it has been so hard. So I'm living vicariously through the characters in this book, and I am praying and waiting for the day that I can enjoy a nice yummy pastry again. I will be picking up the next book immediately, but aside from that, I do want to read one other book in this video, and that is Bringing Down the Duke. I think I mentioned this one earlier. I just think that it also kind of fits in with like the cozy vibes because like, I don't know, Victorian like rom-coms just feel cozy to me. So we are going to start that tonight because basically all I have planned for the rest of the night is hanging out and reading. So that's what we're gonna do. So Danny and I are going out of town in a couple days, which I'm very excited about. But this morning I've just been kind of like packing and cleaning and like getting ready to be gone. So I've primarily been listening to Bringing Down the Duke on audiobook, and I don't know, so far I'm just kind of bored. And maybe that's because like I just had a 5-star read, so now I'm kind of like on this reading high, but I'm 50% of the way through this book and I just don't feel like the plot is plotting. I don't feel like very much has actually happened. I do like our characters and I do really like the atmosphere, but the story just feels kind of bland. Not only is there like not much happening, but I'm also just like not that interested. Like the conversations aren't that interesting. There really isn't very much banter, so to say. I like thought of DNFing it, not because it's a bad book, just because like I just said, I'm kind of bored and I don't want to like just read it just to finish it, you know, if there is like something else that I'm really interested in reading right now. But I do want to see if like it gets better. And since I am 50% of the way through the book, I really don't have that much left to read, so I might as well just finish it. But I also don't want to put myself in a slump. I don't know, I have a lot of errands that I have to run throughout the day, so I'm going to continue going back and forth between the audio and the physical copy, and we'll see how I end up feeling about it. I I think I'm gonna soft DNF this book. Again, it's not that it's a bad book, I'm just bored. And I just don't feel connected to the story, like at all. It's kind of fun, the atmosphere's kind of fun, the characters are kind of fun, but it's just so physical. Like, it just feels so physical. And I'm a firm believer in DNFing books because A, you don't want to put yourself in a slump, B, you don't want to spend time reading books that you're not enjoying when you have so many books on your physical TBR. Life is too short. Again, this is a soft DNF though, so I'm not hard DNFing it. I do maybe want to get back to it at some point, but for now, it's just not something that I feel very interested in. I feel like basically all that happened was our main character is part of a feminist group, and she kind of has to try and persuade or influence one of like the most powerful men, I believe, in London. So they end up getting like invited to this little party that's being hosted at his house. And then as she's being hosted at this person's house, she ends up falling a little bit ill. And so she ends up staying there for like 2 weeks or something. And they just kind of like see each other here and there, but then it just all of a sudden becomes kind of, like I said, physical. And they have a lot of like physical attraction, and they like make out a couple times, and I don't know, like it's very weird. And I don't know, I'm just like I'm not fully in it. So we are soft DNFing that. I think that is all I'm going to be reading for this vlog. That does also bring us to the end of this video. It's been such a nice, fun, and cozy, comfy week. Thank you guys for spending this time with me and slowing down and just having a good time with our comfy, cozy books. I am so happy to have found a 5-star read in this video, and I actually didn't realize that the second book of A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic does not come out until June 3rd, I believe, so I have about a week and a half, 2 weeks left, but when it comes out, I am going to be running to the bookstore to grab that. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have an amazing and cozy rest of your week, and I will see you in my next video.